Hello Fiona, Dan Cadden here. Good to speak today. As mentioned, just putting together a quick video which will help yourself and the person who's going to be looking after the design and ongoing management of the app in regard to the sliding images side of things. So as you can see here, we've got the back panel open where we're going to upload the new images. I've also opened up a Photoshop file. Now what I will do is, now with the iPhone 5 we need to design two different sized images, both for the iPhone 5 and for the iPhone 4 screens. So this one for the iPhone 4 screen you'll see is a size of 640 by 920 pixels. We've also designed one here which is for the iPhone 5, which is 640 by 1136. As mentioned, I'll send you a list of all the relevant sizes for images that need to be used throughout the app. So all I've done here is, you can actually take this from the back panel of this image by going in here, going to the background images. And any of these images through the app you can actually save in order to sort of use again. So wait for this to load. Great, so you've got the background images here. You can simply click on information. And then right click and save that image. So that's what I have done in this particular instance. And what we're aiming to do is change these sliding images that appear currently here. So in order to do that, I have just basically worked out an area which I think would be suitable. So I have the images which will allow enough room for the tabs down the bottom. Now to do this, it's simply a matter of creating a guide, which is under the view menu and new guide. You then have the option to create a guide which is vertical or horizontal. So in this case, horizontal, and then you literally just drag that guide and position it where you want. So that allows you to chop off images that overlap the border, and also to drag and resize images so that they all fit exactly in the same space. So with the 5 movies that you gave me, we had Man of Steel, Monsters University, Despicable Me, World War Z, and The Wolverine. So if we look at the first one, what I've done is simply just gone to Google, opened up a page, and then done a search query such as Man of Steel banner, then clicked on images, and you'll find it's very easy to get all of the imagery you need. And then I generally go through and take about 2 or 3 different options, click on the image, go through, save it to the folder, and then use the one that's going to be most appropriate in terms of what we're trying to achieve. Then once you've done that, you can literally go to the folder where I've put movie banners here. Let's bring Photoshop up again. And then select the images and then drag them in, which I won't do now because I already have, and then that will bring all the images into your document so that you can click and choose them from the sidebar here. So the Man of Steel, I've got 2 images, that one and this one. I think in this particular case I'm going to go with this one. That should fit nicely in here. I'm pretty sure we'd like to get rid of this bit of text here, so I can just drag that down and utilize everything that's going to fit within these 2 lines. So with that image selected, we can then go and get a select tool over here and select everything outside of that area and delete it. Now before doing so, we need to rasterize the layer, which is just right click here and rasterize layer. And then once that area is selected, we can simply hit delete, and that's going to trim that image so that everything is going to fit in the space that we have allocated for the banner. So that's the first banner, Man of Steel. We can go through and delete this layer that we're not going to use. And now delete, just unclick Man of Steel so we can see where we're working. Next one is Monsters University. So let's see what images we have here. I think just the two, yeah. So this one here seems a bit more appropriate. So I might use that. It's a bigger image to start with. And we can always shrink it to fit and create a white space around. So if we drag that down, we can almost fit that in. But in this case, we're going to have to resize. So to resize an image, once you've got it selected, you hit Command T, and then holding down the Shift button, you can grab the corners and ensure that when you resize it, everything will stay in proportion, and then simply hit Enter. So now we can fit the monsters in within that space quite easily, and I think in this case it's not going to matter too much because it's not much of adjustment we could pull across to ensure that it fits there. Fantastic, and then the same thing again, grab the selection tool, make sure this layer over here is not a smart object, so we have to rasterize layer. Select everything outside of the box and delete, which will trim the image. And there we have it. Now, rather than going in and doing every one, that should give you a bit of an idea of how to create the images. Now, to create a sliding image, what we do is we simply just want this portion to slide across one another, while this image is the background. So if we turn off the background, you'll see now that the whole image is transparent. In the case of a new document, generally you'll have a white background, so it's a matter of just turning off the white background, and then utilizing, we're just basically saving this as a PNG, which will mean that the rest of this can be transparent, and then these images will simply slide over on top of one another or fade on top of one another, which will be on top of the home screen. So if we start with the background image, and we're going to save this.